Hey everyone, this is Brian and Neil with Team Tacticool. We're going to talk about our Glock 43X experience at the range. Welcome back, team. We talked a few weeks ago about the Glock 43X and size comparisons to other firearms in that field, that size, that round capacity. So we took the firearm to the range, and I think that Neil and I both had different experiences. Looking back on the video, I found that the firearm was extremely comfortable. It was for a Glock, and being a single stack, it was something that I felt I could use just picking it up. When you're at a gun store, the first rule is to obviously safety check, but to see if it fits comfortably in your hand. If it's not a comfortable firearm in your hand, you won't use it. It's not something you're going to take to the range. I felt that picking that up in that video, that it was something that I really liked. My experience of the range was quite interesting. My findings were not what I expected. Why don't you talk about what you thought?
Well, for me, I was pleasantly surprised. I think I ran 300 to 400 rounds downrange with it, and it was very accurate for just having shot it for the first time over the weekend. So with that being said, I was considering, would this particular pistol take over my everyday carry, which has been a M&P Shield for quite some time now. They're essentially about the same size to me. After wearing this appendix style, which is my traditional carry preference, I don't see a huge difference in the size, weight, or anything like that. So in terms of the size of the Shield versus the Glock 43X, it was very comparable. The bonus was I have a lot more round capacity with the Glock 43X, having 2 mags with a capacity of 10 rounds each. So essentially with one chambered, I have 21 at any given time. Now with the Shield, I would have far less than that, and I would essentially have to carry an extra mag to get around the same capacity. So for me, it was a great experience. I liked shooting it. It felt great in hand as I was handling it before going to the range. After shooting it for several hundred rounds, for me, it was very comfortable and very familiar to shoot.
My experience was a little bit different. And every gun is different in everybody's hands. And just so you know, this firearm has been safety checked. See, there's nothing in it. I felt that it was comfortable, but when I started to fire the weapon, the undercut for me, and it may be a little bit hard to see here, but the undercut for me was too low. So I found that my middle finger was pressing too hard into that plastic. There wasn't enough space up high to get a comfortable grip on the weapon. Typically when you get into these smaller weapons, your pinky's dangling off. But for me, I just couldn't get comfortable around the trigger guard. And when I would fire it, it would hurt my finger. I tried to adjust my grip a little bit, and it didn't seem to help. It just wasn't a pleasant experience for me shooting that particular firearm. Now, brand new firearm, maybe it needs to be broken in, it'd be a little bit more manageable to fire, but my initial experience, mine, was that it just wasn't comfortable, and it wasn't something I'd feel comfortable shooting. So obviously Neil put multiple rounds downrange where I put a couple of magazines, so it just this was just my initial thought on it, and I am going to fire it again, but for me it just wasn't very comfortable.
Got it. Yep, I mean, so far I think I'm going to carry it as my everyday carry for now, and just see how that goes a little bit more long term, and that will be the telling sign, right? If I'm actually going to replace my Shield for the near future. I just don't know yet. I still have my Shield. It's been what I've been carrying for the last few years, as I mentioned. So I'm going to put this through its daily trials and see if it takes all of those marks that make that Shield comfortable for me, right? And if it does, this will definitely go in the rotation as far as my daily carry goes. So we'll make another video maybe a month out and see how that goes with what my experience has been, just for the month. Is it still what I say it is now, or have my thoughts changed? I don't know, but we'll find out. Brian, any last thoughts before we go?
Yeah, so I got a question for you. So I know my personal preference is not to, or carry gun is to start putting triggers or sights.
Good point.
That's, again, it's preference. I know you like triggers, sights, you might do something with the mag well, you like to customize a little bit for you, and that's where you're comfortable. So if you were going to do anything to this particular firearm, where would you start?
Well, this particular one, to your point, I probably won't change out the trigger or anything. I'm actually okay with it. It's reminiscent of the Glock 19 Gen 5 that I have, so I'm fairly comfortable with that. The only other thing that I can consider maybe changing out in the future are maybe the sights. I'm okay with the standard Glock polymer sights. I'll change it out if I deem that, hey, this is going to be seriously a contender for my everyday carry, because I just need some kind of a night sight option on there, where the Glock factory sights don't offer that. So I know I could have opted to purchase the model with night sights on it, but again, I wasn't sure if this is going to be an option for an everyday carry, and because of that, I'd much rather spend the money down the road and get the sights that I want.
Or more magazines or something else.
Right, exactly, and I may get more magazines. I've actually been asking around. I think they're not available right now just because they're saving them for the packages, right, for the pistols. So definitely I'd like at least another mag or so.
What about accessories? What have you found in the way of concealment accessories for this particular firearm?
Concealment accessories, I've watched several videos. People have shown that the existing Glock 43 holsters seem to fit this particular model, even with the little bit thicker frame. So I'm not sure. I have a holster right now, which is a 43 holster, and it seems to fit okay. I found that it was a little tight, in my opinion, and I've loosened the retention a little bit, but it almost seems like to give it enough space, I'd have to loosen it a lot, which concerns me. So I'm actually waiting on a holster right now from B3 Concealment, which is a specific Glock 43X holster. So once I get that, I'll put that into the rotation as well, and just wear it just from then on and see how that goes. I'll compare it to the 43 holster I have now as far as retention goes, and just kind of see. I just think that the one that's for the 43 is just a little tight.
Gotcha. All right, guys, appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below. And if there's something you want to see in a video of a firearm that you've seen in previous videos, you want to see something on the tabletop, let us know. See you next time.
Awesome. Later, guys.